Well, this fourth week of Easter time, and we got some nice spring days now, this is the time when we focus on Jesus, the risen Lord, as the Good Shepherd. And it's a beautiful way to understand our companionship with the risen Lord. He is the shepherd. We recognize his voice. He calls us each by name. Hopefully we try to follow, even though it isn't always easy, is it? The Good Shepherd. I don't know if any of you know a shepherd. I got one buddy of mine out in California. He's a shepherd. I called him the other day. I said, "How many sheep have you got?" And he said, "I don't know." And I said, "Well, I mean, you bought them. You own them. How many sheep have you got?" He said, "I'm telling you, I don't know how many sheep I've got. Every time I start to count my sheep, I fall asleep." Now, you couldn't know that was coming. So, there's three ways to be a good shepherd. And don't think we're just talking about priests or bishops or popes or whatever. We're all called to do shepherding, aren't we, in our lives once in a while. You might be good parents or grandparents or guardians, a teacher, someone, who's responsible for the care of others. It calls for shepherding, leading, inviting, encouraging, teaching. We're all called in one way or another to do some shepherding. And one way to be a good shepherd is to walk in front of the flock, the sheep. You show the way. You mark out the good path. If you leave some people on their own, they get all messed up. They don't know whether to go this way or that way. They stumble about as if in the dark. A good shepherd sets the path for a good way to go. I'll show you the way. Come, follow me. Follow me. Follow my example. Listen to my teaching. Learn from me. You walk in front of the flock. Another way to be a good shepherd is to be in the midst of the flock, to be with them, not far away, not distant, not absent, but to be with them, among them. The late Pope Francis said, you priests, you got to be with the people, among them. He even said you got to smell like the sheep. I mean, years ago, some older folks might remember, maybe every Catholic church, maybe they had 3 or 4 priests, You didn't really see the priests except on the altar. They were kind of like that little figure that comes out every hour on the cuckoo clock. They come out on Sunday on the altar dressed up, but God forbid you saw a priest out, driving a golf ball or at the restaurant. People would say, "Oh my God, I didn't think you could be here," Well, it's not like that today, of course. Most priests are among the people. We're with people, whatever's going on. That's another way to shepherd. A third way to be a good shepherd is to walk behind the flock, to follow up. Find out the ones who couldn't make it. They failed. They fell out. They're not on the right road anymore. They threw the towel in. They gave up. They got discouraged. They got caught up in other things. A good shepherd follows the flock. He invites, he encourages, he saves the ones who need a little extra loving care, a little nudge. So 3 ways to be the shepherd. In the gospel, Jesus says, I am like the gate. Not only am I the shepherd, I'm the one who guards the corral where the sheep are. In those days, the shepherd would actually sleep at night, lay across the opening. He became the gate. God forbid anybody came to rob or hurt the flock. He was right there, first line of defense. So many beautiful ways to understand Jesus as the Good Shepherd. And this weekend, we're encouraged also to pray for shepherds of our Catholic faith, to pray for priests, to pray that many will answer the call, the vocation, to give their lives in service of the flock, of the people, of the household of our Catholic churches. We pray for vocations. Now, that's good to say, and we do that. That's beautiful. Pray for vocations to the priesthood. But I'll tell you where there's a little problem, because this isn't my first rodeo. I've been around for a while, okay? Here's the problem. We can pray for vocations to come from our households. But the last few years, even though in the last year we've had thousands of young people coming back to church, Catholic sacraments, it's been in the news. I'm sure you've seen it. Easter, all during Lent, thousands of young people, 19, 20, 22, 30, are coming back to Catholic churches. But the problem is that if I do 10 baptisms, 8 out of 10 of the couples with the baby are not married in any way, shape, or manner. On the information sheet, it says, what church were you married? Blank. None, you know? That is a problem. We're all in the same boat. St. Peter's fishing boat is the church. And unfortunately, our boat has a leak in it because there are too many households where nobody's married. Now, you know what the rate is to get somebody who wants to be a priest from a household where the parents aren't even married? 0. So you're more likely to have someone become a priest if they come from a Catholic household where at least the parents are married, their love has been blessed, it's a sacrament, very beautiful. But too many couples now, they're having children, they're not even married, not even a judge, nothing. They're not married at all. No vocations will come from those kind of households. I guarantee it. 0. So we're getting more people coming, especially young people, but we're not getting enough people to bless their love, make it a sacrament in our faith. It's a problem. Now, why is it a problem? Because parents, grandparents, godparents, friends, other couples, they're too timid. They're too shy. They're afraid to say, you know, you two, you seem to be in love. Why don't you get off the pot and bless your love? Why don't you make it a holy thing in our faith? We're too shy because we don't want to rock the boat. Well, guess what? The boat's got a leak. And in a few years, it's really going to hit. There won't be any vocations. Too many couples are having families, but there's no faith. They're not even married. They're missing the boat right off the first foot, shall we say. So on this weekend, when we're encouraged to pray for vocations, we got to get to the root of the problem. We got to encourage these families, couples, to get married, have faith woven into their love, into their life. Maybe then that would be fertile ground for someone to say, you know what, I'm thinking of becoming a priest, vocations. So let's not just scratch the surface. We got to get down to the problem where the boat has got a leak. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy